the design direction by not going to lengthy usability research. So to answer your question, how much research should a good designer have, is that right? As I mentioned, every designers are different. Some people may have 10% research, 50% design, 20% strategy, and then 20% prototype, something like that. Everyone's gonna have a different spectrum. For me, I am very research oriented, and I love research for that. And some of my colleagues do not like research. They like to really, really focus on the visual. They really like to focus on the interaction model. Some people are really focused on the strategy. So it depends on what kind of designers you are. And I do think having that research is important. But if a designer does not have that skill set or are not interested in it, it's not the end of the world, because they're gonna be also another like user researcher like yourself to complement their skills.
Could you reiterate the question?
How much does research ensure a great design?
Basically, your experiences with extensive research. Like, what do you think the bounds are that we can use research to ensure the product is good? So a lot of what I hear is about, situations I've been in. You have a product and it's ambiguous and you thrive on ambiguity. But I feel like the solution to that ambiguity is not random. It's experiences with failures in research and things you've done, or maybe that research really drove that process to great success. It's kind of what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, bringing in research early on obviously helps really define the problem that you are trying to solve, because often we'll start, it's very common, especially in large companies, to start with the solution and then retrofit it and be like, this is the problem. And it's only later on, when you're really far down the process, when you realize, oh wait, that wasn't even really a big problem to solve from the beginning. So I'm always an advocate for bringing in research really early on. I think one of the pitfalls of being so like user-centered is also the abuse of research, like using research to just settle internal debates when it really could be, and maybe just should be, someone's call. So I think it's two-sided.
To me, user research is just a blanket statement. It should be actually thinking about what the problem you're trying to solve. That's what I was trying to get at. Sometimes it is okay to design quick and design A/B testing and just launch it, because that's the best way to get the feedback. So research, the way I see it, is understanding the users and their tendencies, right? So if you look at, sometimes we are designing wireframes, we go on a test and see if the designs worked. Versus when we are testing a checkout flow, right? People tend to go through the testing very smooth, because they know that they are going to get the money at the end of the day. We ask them, hey, buy a Nike shoe, and then, they just go through the 4 pages, right? But in real life, they drop off. So to understand the user tendency, what we need to actually do is look at the data. But then the trick there is, we can look at the data, but the analysis would be again different. I have been in situations where the same data has been analyzed differently. The reasons have come up differently. People forgetting a password, not entering a password, skipping a page, dropping off a page, could be interpreted as, we should remove the password, versus we should get this CAPTCHA or this machine, or we should have this thing at the end of the. So there could be like so many options, and that's how well you can understand the user ensures the success of the product. And that's not just one person's or the UX designer's job, it's about the product person understanding, is he trying to solve a problem? Is he trying to figure out what he's trying to make? Is that the UX designer or the user researcher bringing in qualitative, quantitative ways, and different kinds of research. Sometimes it could be surveys, right? Or it could be quantitative. They have all these tools, and which time they use which tool is different. But definitely a tool should be used, and sometimes the tool just could be A/B testing. It's not really just going out and asking, but just launch it and just see which ones are getting used and fail fast.
Okay, we have time for one more quick question, and then there's wine outside and snacks for half an hour.
Thank you so much. I guess this would be more of an easy question, hopefully. I'm currently looking for my first UX role, and I'm really interested in how is it different to work in a smaller company versus a bigger company. My feeling right now is that starting off in a startup would be easier to get in, but at the same time, I'd love to work with an existing design team to learn from and work with. You all have so much experience. I'm just curious, how is the job itself different working with a team versus just being one or a team of two? What are pros and cons in your opinion?
I think if you just started off, I would recommend you joining a big company because they already have an established process that you can learn from other people. You have a lot of mentors, you have resources that you can learn from. It's almost like a continued education. If you join a startup, it is easier to get in because people right now in the market are desperate for UX designers. You can get in and they'll let you do whatever you want. Just, make this thing work for us. I mean, this is a really huge responsibility that, of course, every designer would love. But without the experience, you end up doing everything with experiments, and there is not enough resource for you to latch on. There is not going to be enough mentor or a team for them to support you or holding your hands to go through a specific process. These are the things that you need to learn through failure over and over again. So I would suggest if you're just starting out, start out in a big, substantial company, and if not, just go with a team of people that you like to work with. That way you can learn so much faster. And once you have enough experience, go to a small company to do big things.
I think I agree with what you said, but the reality is that sometimes those smaller company jobs are just easier to get, and your first job is probably going to be the hardest job. And I would say if you have a really good manager and someone who is seasoned and could potentially be more of a mentor towards you, who could train you, that would be worth it too.
For me, if it's your first job, just take it. I mean, if it's a startup, there's a lot of stuff to learn in a startup. You will learn things which you will not learn in a bigger company because everything is laid out for you. Versus if you go to a bigger company, everything is laid out for you. You learn processes, you learn interactions, you learn other stuff which you would not learn in a smaller startup. For example, in a startup, probably you will be working on various things, UI design, visual design, actual work. In bigger companies, you will just be basically designing a button for a month, and then that would be a most frustrating experience, giving a rationale as to why I have made these 10 different kinds of buttons and and then doing user research on it as to which button works. So
one button might not launch.
Yes. Yeah, so it's completely different, and so if it's your first job, you just get the foot in the door because that's what it is. It's all about the experience, and it just adds up.
It's a lot of words of wisdom. And actually, with that, if you take the startup route, you'll probably be reading a lot of blogs too, right? Like the Nash feed. So that's a great thing too. So thank you so much for coming, and definitely please stick around for both the wine as well as talking with our wonderful speakers. So can we give them a round of applause, please? Just really quick before I release you guys onto the alcohol is that our next event is happening next Monday, right? Or no, Tuesday. Next Tuesday, and it's around machine learning and computer vision heads panel with Crowd AI and GM Cruz. And it's going to be at Galvanize, which is pretty close to here as well. So if you really enjoy today's show, please check this one out as well as our other ones. You can find us on Curia Global on Eventbrite. Just look up Curia Global. So cool. All right. Thank you so much.
I feel like one of these